Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to another one of my live streams. So this feels like I have been online streaming all day long, and I feel that way a little bit because I did an interview earlier today. Several people reached out to me months ago asking for interviews, and I have just been overwhelmed with just the stuff that I had to do, and so I had to say no to a lot of people. And now that I have a little bit of time in my schedule, I'm actually circling back with people. So I actually was doing it's probably an hour and a half long conversation earlier today with someone. And you will probably see that video at some point, maybe this week, maybe next week. I'm not quite sure, but definitely stay tuned. But I feel like I've been talking all day when I really haven't been. But this is a live stream that I wanted to do to essentially pick up with a topic that I was planning to talk about yesterday during yesterday's Ready, Set, Go preview show. But because of the amount of content that was released from fandom, I felt that I was obligated to actually focus on that topic and defer what I also wanted to talk about to another day. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about. I will tell you that there are going to probably be some spoilers in this live stream. There will be some spoilers. What I plan to do is to share with you something that I was thinking about over the last couple of weeks, something I was starting to do a little bit of research on, and then some observations that I've had that leave me feeling a certain way about what I was planning to do. And I'm being super cryptic right now, and I will try to, as best I can, walk you guys through some of what I was thinking about and where my head is now. And then maybe we can get into a little bit of a discussion. So before we get going, I want to say hello to some comic book soldiers that have joined me here for this live stream. Young Matthew is in the house. Randy Resnake, it's good to see you, brother. It's good to see you. Tina is in here. Harvey Abel is in the house. Matt Woods is here. Scrolling down through the names, seeing who else we have. Hydra Collectibles is in here. My Canadian brother, Rush Diehard, is in here. It's good to see you, my friend. Scrolling down, failed Dr. Doom does not fail. I think that this is the first time that I've actually seen you in the website, in the live stream. So welcome to you, my friend. Scrolling down through the rest of the comments here, just a robust conversation that was happening here between Tina, Matt Woods, Rush Diehard, Harvey Abel. Scrolling, trying to see some different names in here. Incorrigible, how you doing? It is good to see you. Welcome. Paranormal Gaming Juggernaut is here. Who is this? Brittany Cruz is in the house. Brittany, how you doing? Welcome. All right, so we're gonna dig into this thing. I promised my wife that I would not make it super long. I said to her, babe, I'm gonna go do a quick live stream. She says, nothing that you do in there is quick. And I said, sure enough, you're right. All right, so we're gonna dig into this thing, and again, it's gonna be some couple of spoilers in here. You guys know that one of my principles, one of my philosophies, if you will, is blue ocean versus red ocean. So I'm always trying to think about things, and I'm always trying to anticipate some things before they happen, so as to make moves and make things happen without unnecessarily spending extra money. So I'm always noodling these different ideas, and a lot of times, I do the thing, and then I just let the book sit in the box, or I'll show it casually in a video, and I'll let it sit in the box. And I was thinking about Wraith. I was thinking about the character Wraith over the last couple of weeks. And if you follow me on Instagram, you probably saw a post that I put up where I was looking for Wraith 1 through 4. And this is part of my blue ocean thinking, where I'm like, okay, they are coming out with a one-shot featuring Wraith. Why? And it's I think it's called Web of Venom Wraith. And I'm like, why are they doing this? Why are they releasing that? Knull's coming. Maybe there's a connection. So I go back and I start reading some Wraith, because to be honest with you, I had never really read Wraith. And I can't remember who it was, but some artist put up a super dope variant cover for Web of Venom Wraith, and it was incredible. And I can't remember who it was, but I had already been thinking about Wraith before I saw that cover. And I saw the cover and I was like, I got to dig into this one. So this is actually the cover right here, Annihilation Conquest Wraith. And this is a 4-part mini series. And I've read all 4 parts of this thing. And as I was reading Wraith, as I was reading this particular book, issues 1 through 4, I started to have some epiphanies. And I want to share with you some of the things that I observed about this. And I don't know if you guys have read this, but I was headed down a path of buying these books online because I wasn't able to really find a trade to get them. And now I'm a little bit in limbo because of some observations that I've had. Again, I'm going to walk you guys through some of my thinking as to why I was headed down this path. And I need to move my windows around just a little bit. So one of the things that I saw as I was reading this, and I'm going to basically blend issues like 1 through 3 together, because I think some of the magic kind of happened, maybe a little bit of a sprinkling of something in issue 1, but I want to say maybe the meat of it was in issues 2 and 3. But again, when you read things so fast, you kind of lose your place. But this is a page from one of the comics. This is a page, I think, from maybe issue 2. And there is definitely some creepiness going on in this page. Let me make sure you guys can see that. You can indeed. All right. So as I looked over here, this first thing, estranged from their souls, the hosts lose all sense of time, all sense of sentience. That struck me, right? Estranged from their souls, the host. I think that was the key word there, was the host, was something that spoke to me. And this goes on to basically talk about how, you know, these entities, right, which are, I think, the nameless ones, they essentially inflict all kinds of pain, right? The nameless ones inflict all kinds of pain upon themselves because it actually helps them to remember who they were when they actually had a soul, when they were technically alive. And so it's super creepy, right? Super creepy. But that first little graph that I showed you caught my attention. And then down here at the bottom, let me see if I can make this depiction here of the nameless ones and the way that they look there, with the long flowing hair, in some cases white, and with essentially a black body. This is where I'm starting to kind of pay attention to some of what is actually happening in this particular comic, right? So I'm super intrigued by this. And I continue on reading this thing. And so let me show to you the next page that kind of caught my attention as I was noodling this thing, thinking about blue ocean territory. It was this depiction here of Wraith as a young boy talking with his father. And as I read left to right, I came to this. You can see it right here on the right hand side. If you look at his eye, there is something about the way that eye looks with the fleck of red in there and the design of that screams to me Knull. That screams to me Knull like nobody's business. As I'm reading this thing, I'm like, man, I'm starting to see a little bit of a connection here. Then as I look further down, as you look at the end of his cape, if you will, there is a little bit of a swirl, right? And to me, it is a Knull-like swirl, right? It feels like it's his uniform. And I didn't do a side-by-side comparison. I'm doing this all from memory as I'm reading this thing. It is screaming Knull is based to some degree or another on Wraith. And I'm saying that because Knull came after Wraith, right? And so I think that, again, it's a case of Donny Cates leveraging some things that were already out there, pulling them into his character through design and through words and through the storytelling, so as to make Knull be this bigger thing. And so that was another thing that kind of caught my eye here. The nameless Kree. So those that don't know exactly what Wraith is actually a Kree. His parents were brutally murdered by some person, and then he was basically captured and he was made into a nameless one. And I think I'll show you a little bit of that depiction on this next screen. I'll actually get to some of that, but a little bit of background on him. He is indeed a Kree. So let me show this next screen here for you guys. This is the third screen, and then I have some spoilers coming up as well. So this was another page from the book that I saw. Thousands of years ago, the earliest Kree were explorers, pioneers. some of their generations, et cetera, et cetera. Their bodies were invaded by the Exelon. So I'm like, what is the Exelon? Well, the Exelon is a parasitic entity that feeds upon the immortal souls of living beings. It was because of their bonding with the Exelon that the Kree became the Nameless. So the Exelon parasite, that's exactly what Knull is basically a parasite. Well, he controls essentially what some parasites are that bond to a host. So there's all of these little key words that are reminiscent to me of what Donny Cates has been doing with this character Knull. And so first they drove a blade into the boy's heart, that boy being Wraith. The alien parasites did the rest. And so you can see these nameless ones that are all this long flowing hair, gaunt faces, all dressed in black. The Exelon trapped the boy's soul as it left his body, and the boy gained what the Nameless have had for eons. So the eons, it is further back than what we can imagine, and that's essentially what Knull is. He has been around for a very, very long time, right? So as you get down, what did the boy gain? What did Wraith gain? The black membrane that the Nameless wear is but a collection of the Exelon. By bonding with the Exelon, the son gained strength, healing, immortality, and the ability to summon the Exelon to swarm. And that's pretty much what Knull does, right? He commands them to swarm. And so these are all of these little things. And if you look at it, look at the swirl, look at the black coating. It is like oozing all over him. I mean, to me, this screamed nothing but Knull as I read this thing. And so I want to bounce back to the chat real quick to see if you guys are talking about this or something else, because it could be anything knowing this group. I mean, the boy looks like Knull, just different clothes, says Bayou Boy Entertainment. Who is that? The Wraith. Wraith is a pawn in Knull's overall plan, and Black Winter is a chump, says Cover Lover Comics. Trinidad, welcome, Trinidad Gomez. This is his first time in a live stream. Welcome to you, my friend. I hope that you enjoy yourself. I see that Tina has already welcomed you to the live stream. She is the Blue Wrench, and there's a couple of other Blue Wrenches in here. I think so. She will look out for you if you have any questions. There you go. Wraith is the man. Regie now revealing my secrets. All right. So what is this? Great run, Wraith. Got the run for $1 each. I will double your money right now, Lost Comic Book Junkie, because I cannot find it for $1 a piece. I actually traded somebody for issue number 2. Then I found issue number 2 in my collection. And then I felt like it was because the deal was already done. I followed through with the deal and continued to execute it. But let me see, scrolling down here real quick to see if there's any other comments here. There you go. Parasite. All right. So that is the first part. These were some of the epiphanies that I was having as I was reading Wraith. It was Annihilation Conquest Wraith issues 1 through 4. I was having these epiphanies. There has to be a connection to Knull. It makes sense. And then let me close these windows, because I was, I try to do research when I can, right? When I can, I try to do some research. I stumbled upon some leaked photos from Web of Venom Wraith, which is not supposed to be out for a little while now. So I am going to share some of those pages with you. Then we're going to dig into some of the details. And so you can see here, Knull is a big mamma jamma, and he is a whole lot bigger than Wraith. But he says, I used it as a dumping ground for my failed experiments. And essentially what he's talking about is the planet where the Nameless were. That's my guess, right? Where the Nameless were is a planet that was used for his experiments, failed experiments, whatever that means, right? Maybe we find out more about it in Web of Venom Wraith. He says, I'm sorry, child. You have spent your life thinking you were cursed. I'm afraid that it wasn't anything so dramatic. I mean, there is nothing more compelling than someone basically telling you to your face that you are not special. He is like, look here, little fella, you are nothing special. Get over yourself. Because Ray thought that he was something special, right? When he was fighting in Wraith Annihilation Conquest, his enemy was essentially fearful of him because of what he was able to do. He thought that he was special, and indeed he probably is still special. I think Wraith is actually a pretty cool character, to be honest with you. But Knull's like, calm down, little fella, you're nothing. And then he says, you were born from my trash. And he says it with his hands on his hips, just looking down upon him. And again, look at the costumes, look at the lines. One's red, one's white, but look at them, right? The wrapping that is covering their arms, the hair that's flowing. One has a ponytail, but it's essentially like the same kind of character, which is cool. I think it's definitely a cool thing. But again, I think that more will actually be revealed when we get the Web of Venom comic itself. This is basically just one page from it. I'm guessing there's a lot more. Maybe there's some fighting that happens. I don't know. But I thought that this was a pretty interesting page that I was able to, again, get my hands on, that basically says that essentially the Exelon and the Nameless Ones are indeed related to Knull. They are basically some cast-off. They are cast-offs that just roam around because they're not connected to the hive mind. I think we kind of sort of know that there was no hive mind connection that was at least explained in the origin story that we've seen thus far from Wraith. But they do definitely seem to possess some powers, if you will, because they have bonded. So let me bounce back to the chat real quick here. Scrolling down, I think Codex's Wraith says failed Dr. Doom. Let me see. Wraith is the light as Knull is the dark, says Collectible Lounge. We will get to that. We will actually get to that in a hot second. We have a bit of Magneto. Let me see. Scrolling through the Exelon. There you go. Scrolling through some of the comments here, seeing what else. Nobody who stands like that with their hands on their hips is intimidating. Oh, well done by you, boy. Well done. Wraith, like DC, thought they were special. Ooh, pretty fly for a Filipino guy. Hits him hard. He hits him hard right there. Well done, sir. Well done. Hands on the hips. Not looking good for Wraith. Oh man, Jerry, it's good to see you, brother. It is good to see you. Ouch, right there. Black Knight is going to take Knull out, says Cover Lover. Let me see. There we go. All right. So I love how people try to get ahead of what I'm trying to do here. It's all good though. It's all good. We will continue on with the path that we are on, right? All right. So the last thing, somebody mentioned the light. This was another little bit of an epiphany well, not even epiphany. I spoke incorrectly. This was another one of the leaked pages that came out, and somebody brought up the light, so I wanted to hit on that real quick. This is Eddie Brock having a conversation with, I think, might be the spirit of Wraith. So my guess is that Wraith did not survive his encounter with Knull. And I say that because the way that he looks there is almost like how his father appeared when Wraith's father appeared to him in Annihilation Conquest. So that's why I'm saying maybe he is indeed dead, but is coming back. I don't know. He says, Eddie Brock says, who are you? How do you know us? How did you find? And then he interrupts and says, listen to me. You have to know it is coming for you. And this is, again, reminiscent of what Eddie Brock actually told the Avengers when he was like, he is coming, right? Eddie says, who is? Knull? Are you talking about? No, he says, no. Why is my page not scrolling? Let me see if I can get my page to scroll. That is not working. Wow. That was like anticlimactic, wasn't it? Why is that page not scrolling? That is not good. That's just ungood, as the kids say. See if I can get that to, nope, that's not the one. Nope, that's not the one. Nope, that's not the one. Where is image 3? Oh, that's brutal. That is brutal. Nope, I cannot find it. It is lost to me. But he ends up saying something like the light is coming. And I guess the light is supposed to be an offshoot, or the opposite, if you will, of Knull. So Knull is the dark, and now we are possibly hearing that there is another character that is like, I guess, the yin to the yang, that is Knull, that is called the light. And so we hear about it for the first time in Web of Venom, and that's all that I have. I don't know anything more about it, but he basically says the light is coming, and again, the light is the opposite of the darkness that is Knull. So there may be another character that is going to break out on the scene that Donny Cates has not yet introduced to us. I heard that someone said that potentially Wraith was the light. The way that this looks here, it looks like Wraith is no longer on the mortal plane. At least that's what it appears. But we will learn more. We will eventually learn more when Web of Venom actually makes its debut. But again, this was stuff that I was thinking about. I was thinking about this wonderful connection that might exist. I was thinking maybe there was going to be a battle between Wraith and Knull. I was thinking, you know, there was going to be a bigger role for Wraith. And that's why part of the reason why I was trying to track down these issues, thinking that there was going to be some magic made. And as I'm watching these different books come up for auction on eBay, I saw the prices just kind of climb up. You know, there were a couple of books that sold yesterday, right before I went live, that were more expensive than what I wanted to pay. And I'm sort of glad that I did not jump on any of those books earlier, because I don't know what this means for Wraith, right? I don't know what the future holds for this character. I assume that maybe he was going to play a larger role in the conflict that is to come in December when the Knull King of Black comes out, right? And maybe what we are seeing potentially is that there is going to be another character that is going to be introduced that may save the day, that may be the counter to Knull, because who else would it be, right? I mean, Knull is a pretty powerful character. We do see to some degree or another a scaling up of Venom's powers, right? He is, you know, being enhanced, and he's gaining all these new abilities. So maybe Venom is going to be the counter. I don't know. There's still a lot of time and a lot of issues between now and December for him to get his godlike powers up to be able to compete with Knull. But it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. I think that Donny Cates has a very large runway ahead of him, and he is doing some really, really great stuff. And I'm excited to see where this all heads. So let me pounce back to looks like Invisible Girl had a hard day. He looks a little Thorish, says Tina. Let me see. Yeah, there's an anti-scroll, brother. I don't know what happened to the rest of that page. I don't know. The anti-venom is returned, says Cover Level Hunter. Anything is possible, man. Here I am trying to get off the spec train and come. Here's the thing. Basically, what I'm saying to you is I don't think that there's any spec here. I don't think that there's any spec here. Wraith dead. That's how Wraith gone. He is not going to be here. I don't think there's a play here. I really don't. I could definitely be wrong. I definitely could be wrong. So he says Knull has a shadow. Thank you, brother. So again, no. Is that Knull has a shadow? I can't remember. The exact wording. But suffice it to say, what we are essentially talking about is the opposite of Knull, right? Essentially, that's what I believe that we are talking about. There we go. Thinking the same thing, says Randy Resnake. Another character with their hands on their hips. Scrolling down through the comments here. It could be the Silver Surfer. He kept talking about becoming light in, so maybe. I think anything is possible, Gabriel. I think anything is possible, man. Let me see. I lost the chat there. Let me scroll back up. What if Knull has his hands on his hips because he's doing the macaroni? It's nice to see books moving because of story content rather than movie spec. Man, IMJ, I'll be honest with you, brother. Things that Donny Cates touches, they are moving because they are magical. Now, I will say there are some people that believe that Knull is going to make an appearance in a movie. I don't necessarily believe that. I think that in my head, I feel like there could be a long time before Knull is ever seen in a movie. I could be wrong about that. But I think that there are certain books right now from Marvel that are selling because the books are just really, really good. And Venom is one of those books. Immortal Hulk is another, that are just performing because they're just incredible stories that are being told by some really talented writers and supported by some really talented artists. So, could be, man. I mean, the stuff that they're doing with Dylan Brock is incredible. The last couple of issues of Venom have been fantastic. They have been fantastic reads with Virus and what's going on with Dylan. Dylan's mom is back, so that'll be interesting to kind of see what happens with that. I mean, I think that people have been picking up the female Venom appearance books because of the anticipation of something happening with that character. I mean, there's just a lot of really, really cool stuff that is happening. Daniel's over here shouting out the Celestials. Man, bring on the Celestials, brother. I am a huge fan of those guys, and Knull and them go way back, right? So it could be interesting if something does indeed happen with that. Dylan has the same power as Knull, basically. True. Doesn't fully know how to truly control it. But I don't know if I see those two facing off. I don't know if I see Knull, essentially a god, facing off against a child who is just now kind of sorting some things out. I could be wrong. I mean, again, that's the great thing about speculating, is that we could all be right. Well, no, we couldn't all be right. We could all be wrong, and any one of us could be right. And that's what makes it really, really fun to do this kind of stuff. So let me scroll down. Who is that? Pretty Fly says my blue shirt's going to turn red. Wraith is going to die. Wraith, bro, from the way that it looked, Wraith dead. Okay, Wraith is already dead. Nobody ever stays dead. That's true. That's true. Everybody comes back, brother. And technically, yeah, I guess he's a little immortal, so you just never know. Venom 25 had a Celestial. Man, that was cool. That splash page was dope that they had, right? But it looked like the Celestial had already been infected. So I don't know. I don't know about that. If memory serves, I felt like the Celestial had already been infected. I don't know. It's been a little bit since I looked at that splash page of Venom 25, but man, there's just some really cool stuff that is happening. Really cool. Man, no. Galactus dead too. Thor took him out. He's gone. Scrolling down. Donnie Cates is the magic man, says Jerry. It is true. Anything is possible. It could be. I mean, now he's super amped up with celestial power, right? I mean, Alfonso's making an argument here that Thor could be the light, right? Because Thor just basically killed Galactus. Spoiler alert. He absorbed the power cosmic from Galactus, and he is still the god of thunder and also the king. So maybe. I mean, if you are right, I'm just going to take credit for it, Alfonso, and just be like, I came up with this during the live stream. Oh, man. What is this? Regie, did we forget that the maker deduced that Dylan was created as a response to what is coming? No, I don't know that we forgot about that. Again, I'm again struggling with Dylan as a child, basically fighting a god. I guess that's my struggle. I mean, unless he gets hit with some grow up juice real fast, I struggle with that. I struggle with him, going from controlling things kind of sort of accidental. Well, I guess he did. Didn't he control the T-Rex? Didn't he take over the T-Rex or change his form or something like that? And he piloted it remotely. So maybe it'll be interesting. Again, I'm arguing it, but I'm not really arguing because I really don't know. I'm gonna be completely honest. So completely honest about that. Scrolling down through, there's another Regie in here. How you doing? This guy spells his with 2 G's though. Spells it with 2 G's. Good to see you, Regie. You did not miss much. No, we're just in here making up a bunch of stuff. Just in here making up a whole who you gonna call? Annihilation Conquest Wraith #1 on eBay is starting at $100. Yeah, that's just too much. That's just too rich for my blood. That's just too rich for my blood. Is that a buy it now or is that an auction price? Because I was tracking a couple of sales yesterday, and somebody had the full run The full, well, what is this one? This one, there's a full run with 1 day left, $152, all four of Wraith Annihilation Conquest. That's up for sale right now. Let me see. Where are the ones I was watching? I don't know if it's going to show me sold items. No, it's not going to. Oh, wait a minute. End it. Yeah, so there was a 9.4 signed by Danny Cates, yellow label Wraith 1 that went for 177. I couldn't pay that. And then there was a full run. This is the one that I was really watching. It was a full run. It went for $243, issues 1 through 4. There were 44 bids, and I was like, I'm out. It's just too much money to pay, especially when I don't believe that there's any. I don't believe that there's upside potential. I don't. I could be wrong. I may regret it. But I'm going to keep my powder dry on this one. I'm going to keep my powder dry. So let me scroll down through some of the comments here. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. 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 Let me see what else here. Let me see what else. Red Ocean. No. I bought the entire Annihilation collection for $7. Are you trying to rub it in? Are you trying to rub it in? No. Congrats, man. I mean, it's really actually a really fun read. And I've actually thought about buying this book because I thought that the character was cool looking. Even though, again, I had not read it, but this book has kind of sort of been on my radar for at least 6 months. At least 6 months it's been on my radar, and I just haven't done anything with it. And, now it is what it is. It is what it is. Sometimes you have to let some of these things get away from you. So I don't really do omnibus. I'm a collector, and so I like the individual issues. I don't own. Let me restate. I've never purchased any type of collected work that I can recall. There's probably some of the collection, but not that I purposefully went out and bought. So scrolling down through, just buy the trade is cheaper, says Glory Quest. Let me see. Scrolling down. Yeah, man. What is this? Rugged says I have some extra copies of #1. I think I have. Yeah, man. I just traded someone for issue #2. Probably they say it at like a 9.6. I ended up trading some a Craven related book for it, and then I realized I actually had a copy of issue #2 in the collection already. So it's one of those things that I wish that I had been able to get it and be done with it. Now that I'm thinking through it a lot more, I think I'm gonna just hold off doing anything. And yeah, maybe I regret it. It's all good. Let me scroll down. All right, cool. So yeah, so that again is basically just what I wanted to share with you guys. I'm super pumped. Hopefully I didn't spoil it too bad for people that are going to get the Web of Venom title. I'm still going to buy it, even though I kind of know what happened. I'm still probably going to buy it. I'm still definitely going to read it because again, the Knull stuff is really exciting. Definitely a dope character. So again, I just wanted to kind of rattle some of this stuff off to you guys. So one of the other things I wanted to do during this live stream is there's a couple of things actually. I want to give a huge shout out to my man Peter. Peter, I believe, is overseas, and Peter sent me a fantastic AOK, and he signed. I'm going to read the letter to you. It's a typed letter, which I think is really, really fantastic. He says, "Please accept this AOK. In your interview with CGC's Matt Quinn, move into trading cards. You let it slip. This comic is sent in jest. Please continue to share great content with the comic book community and remember to keep having it fun." Peter, count on it, brother. Count on it, brother. But what he sent, let me take it out of the plastic. Let me see if I can get it out. What he sent me, it made me laugh. It brought back a lot of memories for myself and my wife when I showed it to her. But this is really cool. It is Garbage Pail Kids comic book Puke-tacular. It's a 9.8 with white pages. It is a one shot from IDW. I didn't even know such a thing existed. But if you watch that video where I was talking to Matthew Quinn about trading cards, I jokingly asked if CGC would grade my Garbage Pail Kid collection. Matthew clearly watched that video and hooked me up with an awesome book. So this thing, it's a gorgeous. No, it's not gorgeous. It is a like a pea snot colored yellow. It is actually really, really cool. So shout out to Peter for thinking enough of me to send this to me. This is a really, really cool book, and I am very appreciative of that, especially because he sent it from overseas, and I know how much shipping can be. So thank you, brother. I absolutely appreciate it. I thought that was a really cool thing. And just as a reminder, a couple of things. This is the Go Collect giveaway book for the week. You have an opportunity to win this book, Godzilla, issue number 1 from 1977, simply by watching the videos that come out from the channel over the course of this week. And believe it or not, I still have last week's book, pretty cool, Batman 359, and I also still have the book from last week. So if you are the second place from last week, definitely get after me so that I can send this Daredevil out to you first, Elektra Origin, and then if you won this book this last Sunday, I still have you all's books. So makes it very difficult if I have to keep tracking these books week after week. So I'm hopeful that the second place winner from last week and the first place from this week will claim their books so that I can bundle these up and get them out to you in a timely fashion. All right. So with that, I'm going to wrap this video up. I want to thank you guys. Dang, who doesn't claim stuff? Exactly. Any turtles being added to the store, I need to spend more money. I will gladly, Deuces, take your money. I will gladly take that. I have not put any books up since like Saturday. I think Friday and Saturday were the biggest number of books that I've put up so far, and I may put up a couple more. I actually have a New Mutants 98 9.2 that I just put up on the store a short while ago. I may put up some additional books later this week, so I definitely encourage people to stay tuned. There is no rhythm or rhyme to what I put up, how I put it up, to be honest with you. When I have a little time, I run through a couple of bins that are close by. I pull some good stuff out. I post it up. So stay tuned. What was it, like 2 weeks ago? I put up books every day, and Peter was one of those people. I was putting books up at midnight, and Peter was literally buying the books as I was putting them up at midnight. So there's no rhythm or rhyme to it. But I definitely want to encourage people to stay tuned to the website, regiecollects.com, because I will be posting some books up relatively soon. So definitely stay tuned for that. All right. If you guys need me, feel free to reach out to me in one of two ways: on Instagram at regiecollects, or you can send me an email to reggie@regiecollects.com. If you're feeling frisky, make sure you hit up the website, regiecollects.com. Take care. Be well.